I guess it's fair to say that at that time, which is 10 and 15 years ago now, people weren't really listening to blackfellas that much, you know. And so...
And all of a sudden you come to the school and just brought in strong and smart.
Yeah.
And I remember you just being in demand. I was on the phone all the time because people wanted you to go to their schools and speeches and that.
I was in a position with authority. I was the principal of the school, and so I could do the things that I had talked about and the things I'd thought about for a long time.
And you also said that it would be Australia-wide, and where is it now?
Yeah, and that's the thing
It is Australia-wide.
Yeah, I remember really well. And, you know, like we'd sit in the staff rooms at Cherbourg and say, this is more than just about us here at Cherbourg now. Yes, we're going to play a part in transforming the lives of kids in your classroom. You have to understand that it's going to play a part in transforming the community, and it's going to play a part in transforming the whole country in many sorts of ways. And so it's not just about us anymore. And I think people got that, you know, like particularly guys like Hooper and Fred, and you know, I think of some of the young teachers we had, Simon Kelly and Rob Blatchford, and that they understood exactly what it was
all about.
What it was about, yeah.
So why leadership? Why did you start the leadership program?
You know, it was a good story. You know, things changed dramatically, and we figured if we can get a whole range of different sorts of people in a whole range of different sorts of schools to understand one philosophical approach, that was the stronger, smarter approach, then we could make a difference, and there would be no excuses for anybody anymore. And then it made sense just to set up a kind of a learning institute where we could run leadership activities. We ran the very first leadership program. We met some pretty special people. Yeah. Who are the ones you remember from there?
Donna.
Paul Tracy from Newcastle. Came along and just really lapped it up, and it just took off. You know, and then it was nice to know that they'd gone back to their schools, and in some ways they'd transformed their own schools as a result of what they'd heard, but in some ways they had already done a lot in their schools, and it was a matter of just reinforcing or consolidating that message and kind of giving them license to go harder, if you like. So that was kind of neat. You know, what was powerful about what we did in the early stages was not the big-headed academic kind of information given, but more the real kind of authentic stories from people who were in schools and doing the stuff, you know, not from people who'd flitted in and out and just watched on, so that people could hear from other people who were doing it and who had done it, kind of thing. And that's what made it richer.
Word started getting around and started to get some more funding in.
And the Telstra Foundation and the Sydney Myer Foundation had come to us. It was great, you know, not only to have their interest, but to have some really key kind of leaders from around the country recognise the good work that we were doing. Herb Elliott had come to visit us at the school a couple of times, and he was such a nice man. And I remember him saying to me one day, he said, Chris, he says, what I've seen here is like nothing else I've seen in the country, and nobody's talking in the way that you guys are talking here. You know, this is real. You know, you're talking about a way that offers hope for Aboriginal people. He says, if there's anything we can do, then let me know, and we'll, you know, if we can find a way to get this to go to other places, let me know. And yeah, they invested some good money into us, and it made a difference.
Sort of all clicked together when we moved down to Caboolture.
And so with the dollars that they invested, we were able to establish a whole new
institute.
Yeah, and a whole new team.
How many do we have?
About 12 of us, I think.
Yeah, the boys come on, and Sharon.
Yeah, Sharon was a gem. Sometimes you just meet these kind of gems and you just know. I think she recognised in us something that was good as well, so it was just the perfect
she's got that passion as well, and that just all, I don't know, it just all clicked with her.
There are some people who are just stronger, smarter to the bone, and she was one of them, and we were able to get a few other people around and assemble a really good team that was really committed.
We had Sharon and Scotty and Spilly and JD.
They came with something good and a way of doing business that kind of worked, and it just fitted nicely together. It evolved into something that's really world-class now, and it's recognised as that by a whole bunch of people around. some strengths about the national programs where you can get a whole bunch of people from right across the country. But there's also some strengths about the regional programs that we run where you can get a whole cohort of people in a particular region, all on the same page. And so that's pretty powerful. Where was the first one we did?
I think it was Hunter. They just took it on board. And
it was led by Karen Jones. In all of the places we've gone, we've seen that as a really key difference, where you've got that kind of regional director, schools director, in partnership with principals. It seems to work really powerful. You know, there are a whole bunch of other places where we've seen it work really well as well.
Kimberley.
Yeah, the Kimberley, where else?
Coffs Harbour. I think the impact is still the same as the national, and it is the same as the national.
We did a regional program in northern New South Wales and around Coffs Harbour.
Coffs Harbour, yeah.
Coast. And they really took off, hey? Because aren't they doing like a community thing now?
They've done their first community program, the Stronger Smarter.
How's that?
That's just getting in all the community people and the teacher aides in that. I witnessed the last bit of it for the first program. Amazing to see those community people in the room and doing the Stronger Smarter ways as well.
Because it's like at every level now, isn't it? We've been able to touch regional directors at that kind of bureaucrat level and principals at schools and some teachers and community people as well. So what do you reckon has been the magic of that? It's kind of just worked.
Well, like you said, there's no magic bullet and everyone thought that it was. It's just like that personal journey. Some are very emotional and yeah, it's just having a deep look inside themselves. And just end of the week, they're just like new, just blooming again. I don't know, just revitalised. Been to the Kimberley, I've done a road trip over there. I've been to the small schools, been in their classrooms.
But it's so hard to quantify in all sorts of ways.
And it doesn't happen overnight, it takes time. It is a journey.
Yeah, and it's a long journey too, you know. And I think that's been the magic of it for those people who were already good educators, but they just understood absolutely that it's okay. You know, and that they're not alone. I think that was really important, a really important part about what we were doing. I also think of Dion Anderson at Cabbage Tree Island School, who again was doing a good job. She said, when I did the Stronger Smarter stuff, I just understood that it was okay to push as hard, because at the time I wasn't sure whether I should be pushing hard to have high expectations of Aboriginal kids. And when I did the Stronger Smarter program, I just realised that it was okay. And I think it was like taking those little kind of spot fires around the place and then connecting them up so that we could get them talking to each other, and that was powerful, you know. So all of a sudden these little spot fires were joining and creating this kind of an inferno of high expectations right across the country that really did influence the conversations happening at government levels and within bureaucracies. This year we're coming up to how many?
50th?
Our 50th.
50th in October.
Yeah. And you think of the number of teachers, the number of community people, and the number of kind of school principals involved and regional directors. And then you consider the sort of amount of children, the number of children that they touch. It's quite remarkable in a way when you think it was just you and me and Merv.
Yeah.
But from something that started so simple, we were able to touch children right across the country.
We've got 400 or 500 participants who've taken part just in the Kimberley.
Yeah.
Imagine all around Australia.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And to think that we could stand at our summit and say, the tide of low expectations has changed. And I really believe that, you know, that when you think of it in terms of that started off as a ripple and it changed the whole tide. But what I love about it is that we go back to the source of the ripple, and that's go back to Cherbourg.
Where it all started.
The community, through the national programs.
The Cherbourg community and Stronger Smart Institute's just got that relationship now that you can feel the warmth when you just drive in there, and they're so proud to have us there at the ration shed where we do our programs now.
Yeah, they love it.
The big thing for me is seeing these people from all over Australia come to Cherbourg, to the ration shed, because a lot of them haven't got an idea what happened to our mob all those years ago.
It's just so cool, so neat to be able to go back to Cherbourg, to the source of the ripple that changed the whole tide of low expectations of kids right across the country.
So what do you think, Chris? There'll be another 50 programs? Will we keep going?
Oh, yeah.